federal prosecutor, Joe Moreno. Joe, thanks so much for coming on the show. Let's start with Mike Pompeo there, basically coming out, defending State Department officials, saying he's not going to allow them to testify effectively.
Michelle, I look at this letter back, from the Secretary, and I see one word: delay. The point of this letter is to say, we received your request, Congress, for these 5 members of the State Department to provide information, but we are not going to rush into it. We are not going to just give you everything you want. They have to have time to prepare. They have to have lawyers. And it's going to be a while before you hear from them.
But, I mean, the committees have said any delay in providing them with the documentation they need, they will go after that. They will see that as a form of obstruction of justice.
I think Congress realizes that they cannot wait 2.5 years like they did with the Mueller probe. And as things trickle out and as they lose momentum, they realize the events here are fresh. They happened within the last few months. We learned about within the last few weeks. And at this point, they want to hear from first-hand witnesses and see first-hand documents what happened here. And they're not going to wait months in the court to fight this out.
Joe, the president's approval ratings seem to be holding up, but when people are asked about impeachment, things are starting to tighten. I just want to show our viewers the Quinnipiac poll. This is the latest one. This is the one that's out today. This is the one from a week ago, sorry. So you'll see that there were 57 against, 37% for. Now, look at that, that's a 20% jump, Joe, 47-47. So is that what is worrying the White House?
In a word, yes. I mean, Christian, I'm not surprised by those numbers. When it came to the Mueller probe, think about it. We learned facts over the course of 2 years. We learned little by little. Some were debunked, some were not. But ultimately, it seemed like it would be hard for people to really digest what was being investigated and what kind of was concluded by the special counsel. Here, the facts are very digestible. We've seen the transcript. We know what happened. We've heard from the president and the Ukrainian president already. And I think in this case, people are much more open to the idea, like, look, even without going much further, I don't like what I see here, and this really could be something actionable against the president that perhaps we have not seen in the past.
What did you make of the Inspector General coming out, issuing a statement, essentially fact-checking some of the comments that are out there at the moment about this whistleblower?
I mean, how the whistleblower is treated in this whole situation is almost as important as the underlying conduct here, because we place so much emphasis on the fact that there's a right way to raise concerns. And that's what this person did. This person didn't leak. This person didn't spill classified information. He or she used the proper channels and raised their concerns. So the idea now that they're going to be threatened or they're going to be, sort of misconstrued as to what he or she knows, I applaud the Inspector General, because that's exactly what we should be doing, is respecting the whistleblower process and encouraging people to come forward.
Can we talk about Bill Barr, because there's been a lot of focus on governments that he's been approaching, the Australian government, the Italian government. I mean, he is within his rights, isn't he, to look at the origins of the Russian investigation. That's a public investigation. In his role as Attorney General, can he do that without raising concerns?
Christian, in a vacuum, yes. I mean, we know there's an active investigation by other members of the Justice Department about the origins of the Mueller probe. That seems legitimate, and it seems like a perfectly, reasonable thing to look into. I think the problem here, though, is that the Attorney General, when he was mentioned on that transcript between President Trump and the President of the Ukraine, it seemed like he was blurring the lines between what he had Attorney General Barr looking into and what he had his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, looking into. And so now I think it's absolutely fair to say, wait a minute here. Let's understand exactly what the Attorney General has been doing flying around the world. And was he acting in an official capacity, conducting foreign policy for the United States, or was it something much more personal in defense of the president?
Joe Moreno, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Michelle. Great to be here.